It's 18th of Feb. The markets are not going very well. Sol is not going very well. All of the FUD related to the sniping of tokens, we're going to cover that in the daily news. Okay, so I'm traveling today, so no video of me right now, but we're going to go run through this as fast as we can. Now, Bitcoin's obviously fallen down. We can clearly see that at 96K. We do have quite a bit of support at like 89 to 90,000. Ether's taken a little bit of a tumble. The big one to fall, of course, is Sol, and anything in the Sol ecosystem has not done well. Dupe is down considerably, Radium's down, Bonk is down, and they're not in the top 100, but you can see a whole lot of other tokens that are on Solana that are down. Now, most of this FUD and most of this bad news is, of course, it's all related to sniping tokens, which I covered live yesterday, but we get more and more data out every day. So as more and more data comes out, my stance from yesterday changes a little bit. Ben shouldn't have allowed this to happen. That's pretty clear. And Meow goes over this as also the co-founder of Meteora, that Ben, it was unacceptable for Ben to not care about the community, given the size and reputation of the community, and to allow this to happen. Ben understands this and has chosen to resign. Going forward, we'll be looking for new leadership for Meteora. Heck, I would do it. I'm as transparent as anything and super keen on making Meteora a success. But I'm probably not the right person. I probably don't have enough time. One thing is, it's important to know that there's going to be a whole lot more FUD on Dupe, and I'm fine with that because I'll just buy it up and then sell it at a higher price. But they've never sold tokens OTC. They don't need to. They have revenue. Dupe is not extractive. I honestly believe this. And you can have a read through this your whole time. Now, what they've also said is we'll get an audit. He's mentioned we'll get an audit done, and they were going to use Fenwick. And then they've had some comments that, they're not very good. So they're going to reevaluate that and getting more recommendations. Now, if an ecosystem layer 1 tokens goes down, the whole ecosystem suffers. So it could be a bit of a buying opportunity. You may want to DCA in here as well. Check out that podcast I did with Katoshi on trading, his strategy, where let's say you want to clip in, maybe spot or leverage 4 times as a bit of a DCA. You don't just go all in on the first opportunity that you want. Now, Cash has also said that Meteora is used by scammers. It does not mean that Meteora or Hello Chow are scammers. Ben hasn't leaked information, never sniped, never received compensation. And it says down here, however, he did make one mistake. That mistake was not illegal nor unethical. It was a strategic mistake. I guess we could say slightly it was, not really aligned morally for your community to be dumped on, to be perfectly honest. And M3, anything connected to M3 is now unfortunately going to be a failure. So those tokens are probably going to have to pivot out, or they're just going to be failures. I'm just going to unstake mine and sell them all. And if they pump up, well, I'm just going to be okay with that, because unfortunately, I don't think anything is going to pump them up any further. And we can probably have a look at M3. I doubt we're seeing any announcements of late. Yeah, nothing here. There's probably no replies. There's no damage control. The damage is done. This is a failure. And this was probably the most upsetting failure, not the sniping, just the fact that M3 was, backed heavily by Ben, and it did actually hurt the community more than anybody else. Now, Solana 4 has apparently obtained some exclusive video evidence exposing all of this stuff that's connected. You can check this out yourself. One thing to keep in mind is that DeFi Tuna founder, you shouldn't be kind of doing this. This kind of destroys your credibility as well. But I'd happily have a chat or do a podcast with DeFi Tuna. Just letting you know, you just got to be mindful out here that you don't have permission to expose these sort of things. You need to try and do it in some sort of transparent way. DMs are sacred. Anyway, let's move on. So there was a very strong group of shareholders who added more than 1 million shares to their MSTR MicroStrategy holdings in Q4 2024. So if you're a little bit scared of Bitcoin, you might want to go for something like this or Metaplanet on the Japanese stock market. If you think that BTC will go down further, it very may well do, but there's a lot of people that are not actually in profit. And Axel says, at the current levels, the number of sellers willing to sell at a loss has dropped to a minimum. Overall, there's nothing to do at these levels. It's time to move on. So not going to be a whole lot of sell pressure. It'll come up and then upwards we go, and then the market will lift up. We don't like to wake up and see a whole lot of sea of red, but this happens throughout a cycle. And this is an important thing. This is far more of an entry. Remember, a DCA entry, you could buy ETH now, ETH $100 less. You could buy Sol now, Sol $20 less, Sol $40 less, BTC now, BTC 92,000, 95,000, 89,000. They may not fill, but that would be a kind of better idea. And then you can take some profits. You can kind of scalp it. Fair and Greed's at 47. So it's still pretty neutral. We haven't actually gone fearful. People are still thinking that it's going to rebound. And over to the Solana calendar or crypto calendar in general, the Kato Genesis NFT snapshots taken today, they're like 25,000 or something quite expensive. So it's kind of crazy. Mount DAO's on as well. I apologize for not mentioning it too much earlier. It just didn't really reach my timeline. But I would love to go to Mountain DAO. Unsure if I'm going to be able to make it. But if you are at Mountain DAO and you see cool stuff being shipped there, please tag me, reach out. We can cover it. Mountain DAO is like a Solana just builders event. It's like people come, they've got good Wi-Fi, good screens, good chairs. They can just code. It's free. It is fantastic for the developer community, which they are the people that make the products, right? FTX Bahamas payments start from today as well. And just a reminder, stake your soul. If you DCA back in, or if you're DCAing in, stakewithvalidator.com. For those creative types, you've got a week until the first global Solana creator competition by Little Unusual is coming. 110K in prizes. This is worth getting amongst. Now let's have a look at the Sol unlock. Why buying Sol is dangerous. This here doesn't give you all the information. It's 1.3 thousand likes, and I've gone and liked it. However, it is basically saying that the purchase price for Galaxy, they are now $3 billion in profit. Figure is $102, so it's $150 in profit. And Pantera is $1 billion in profit. And it unlocks 9.75 million Sol. So you kind of expect that they would be able to sell that unlocking right now and be $3 billion in profit. Only the current value of all the Sol is $1.6 billion actually. So there's a sizable amount of sell pressure, but not a crazy amount. They still have a lot more Sol tokens, as you can see here. The current value is still a lot higher, but these unlocks start to happen a little bit later. We can see 1st of April, we've got an unlock, and then we've got some unlocks going out, a little bit each month that's smaller. This is the big one. So the real question, is it priced in? Probably. It probably is largely priced in. It's certainly possible that they've already gone and sold some Sol, just getting it now, and they're going to hold this for longer. If you think there's sell pressure, the markets will short it, and then the leverage people will go and long it up, and maybe both sides will be wrecked a little bit, but one side will clearly win. So I do think this is more so priced in, or maybe we could dip to like 155 or something. I do not expect anything dipping down to like 120 or anything like that. But that's just my opinion, not financial advice. Now, a couple of days ago, I mentioned Ranger Finance, and I had a referral link. No point in using my referral link, unfortunately, because they're giving a lot more rewards if you sign up with bonks. So if you do want a long or short, use Ranger Finance and go and use ranger.bonk.live. And you come here, how to participate, trade campaign, you register now, and you do all this. And then you can long or short in an aggregator. So you can use dupe perps or drift perps, and then you will be getting some sort of airdrop on Ranger. Now let's go back to Libra. So specifically, over 74,000 traders lost, 286 million plus on Libra. And we can see the breakdown here. Some traders losing a sizable amount. Tristan has run the numbers so, goodness gracious, so fast. Well done to him. As we can see here, CoffeeZilla put Hayden Davis of Kaiser Ventures in the hot seat. What are you going to do with 110 million? Different things were I kind of planned. Donate to an Argentinian charity. Paint the charts back to 4.5 billion, which he didn't say that. He did say he could get up to like 2 billion. Snapshot and refund those that lost money. And he thinks that a snapshot could be good. And he's crunched the numbers and whipped out a quick analysis of the only sensible option. This would still be fairly difficult, with a few people actively involved, a couple of different teams. This could probably be done in a week or so, and it could kind of sort out a lot of that. Of course, Melania token, Trump token, they're going to be ultimate failures, probably. And anything attached to Kaiser or M3 will also be failures. CZ Binance has said some lowly self-perceived competitor in Asia is FUDding about Binance centralized exchange for sale. And as a shareholder, Binance is not for sale. My biggest thing here is not really the comment, because people will know that, you wouldn't sell Binance necessarily. But it's more the fact that CZ is going to take over the timeline. He's going to take over the timeline, and BNB chain will start to gain attention. I've been saying it for a little while, and it has been true. On the subject of EVMs, The Hyper EVM is now live. Haven't played over there. Maybe when I get back to the office, I can go and play and make some tutorials. It's far more centralized, but once again, if there's money to be made, that's really why we're in crypto. Most of my attention will be on Solana, but this could be worth diving into. And maybe there's another airdrop of Hype. Hype's token has not responded favorably on this news. It's down like the rest of the market. Messari Pro has given us a little bit of an idea. Remember, you can get Messari Pro pretty reasonable price. Links below. So HyperLiquid has launched the Hyper EVM on its mainnet. It's general purpose programmability. It's a layer 1 blockchain allowing Ethereum compatible smart contracts with enhanced performance. There's not a lot going on right now. There is a bug bounty program in place to reward reports on mainnet bugs. And they do have a massive amount of trading volume, and they're continuing to have a massive amount of trading volume. $197 billion in January. Also, on the subject of new EVMs, Monad Testnet is launching tomorrow. You can use Phantom Wallet or Backpack Wallet. There'll be other wallets out there as well. Like you'll be able to use MetaMask. So check that out if you're keen. Quickly just into Drift. So Drift allows you to short and long a lot of tokens. Of course, Ranger is what you want to use right now. But you can see the number of tokens that are just falling crazily. I'm thinking Frog is not going to make it. Cloud will be fine, but this has been brutal. The AI tokens, brutal. Popcat, not going to make it. Mother's not going to make it. Jupe will be fine. Ray will be fine. Jito will be. Zeta Markets, really difficult competing with Drift and others. So many of these tokens will just not make it. So now, as you're moving forward, you want to keep an eye on, do you want to hold something which has so much risk but could pump? Like, it may pump, of course. Or do you want to start to get accumulation of some Bitcoin, maybe some Sol if you're still bullish on Sol like I am? Have a look. You can see it's quite brutal. Specifically regarding M3, the market cap just keeps on diving down. I've lost quite a bit here. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to unstake and sell it. You can't short it anywhere that I can see. So yeah, it's going to be brutal. M3 to community take over this would be very, very difficult. It would be possible. So it does have some potential upside. It's pretty good ideas, but I don't even know if the tech is built because we just haven't been shown. Now I'm still learning all this ribbon stuff, but I had a quick chat with Katoshi and we can see Sol is kind of breaking down into this. This is on the 1-day chart. There's still a lot of support down here. There's a lot of support. We'd have to go all the way through $124 before we start to see massive downside. And our RSI has hit 30, which is very, very low RSI, meaning we're oversold. If we go and change it to the 2-hour chart, you can see we're umming and ahhing, and then we took a massive downturn and we just blew through different levels of support. The RSI is very, very low. So we could find some chance here. We can, of course, wait for this to go green to give us a little bit of upside, but you may want to go and DCA here. Maybe you want to go and not leverage, but go and buy some at 170, buy some at 150, buy some at 160, buy some at 140, potentially. And then as it starts to come up, take some profits. You don't even have to be too aggressive because a lot of people will literally just be selling here. They'll miss the bottom and they'll come up and then they'll start to buy back up here. Anyone who's saying it's all over, it's finished, Sol's done, I think they're absolutely deluded. Keep in mind also that Bitcoin's been struggling as well. It needs to get above like $100,000. Some candles, they look massive, but remember, this is less than 1% of a move. And everything's going to struggle a little bit until Bitcoin struggles. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed and check out the other videos over here on the right. Learn, but don't over leverage. Just be mindful out there that we could go lower or we could bounce pretty quickly.